Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday, the 29th of September to Friday, the 3rd of October 2025. My name is Vishal. Let's get started. All right, to begin with, let's decode the FII data. So, this is the weekly candlestick chart of the FII data. And as you can see, that the weekly candles are trading in a level of demand. And now, if there is a spree of buying from the FIIs, we would expect the markets to give a very sharp move to the upside. So, right now, the FIIs are still sitting in this key level of demand. We had a test of this level, and now we are seeing a slight green opening for the week. And depending on this, in case if there is some buying that starts coming in, then we might see a very, very big move in the indexes, to say so. That could be the Nifty, Bank Nifty, and the Sensex as well. All right. Let's now switch to the Nifty analysis. All right. Let's start with the monthly chart of the Nifty, and let us see how things are progressing on the monthly chart. So, last month we had a little bit of a selling pressure. You can see that clearly from this candle, but as pointed out, we are still within this monthly level of demand, and there is a possibility that things might rotate from here, price might rotate from here, and we could again start inching towards the all-time highs. At least this is what the monthly chart is suggesting. Let's look at the weekly. On the weekly, also price is or has been holding this level pretty well since the past couple of weeks. This is that level of demand. And since then, we had a nice rally to the upside. Price came back down, and now looking at how this candle is going to close on Friday, it'll be interesting to see whether this forms a bullish candle. If you go to the daily chart, things are quite evident from the daily chart that we are making higher highs and higher lows, which means that now this price action may not print a new low. And if that happens, we will start seeing price inching up towards these levels of supply. That is this area here. Um, yeah, this one. And eventually it will also go back to this level. So these are the key levels now on the Nifty. There's no clear level of demand, but yes, we could argue uh, that Nifty is more or less testing or retracing from this tested level of demand. And now we'll probably move to the Bank Nifty chart because I think the level on the Bank Nifty chart was much, much clearer than the Nifty level. So let's move to the Bank Nifty chart for a moment. And there was a very, very nice level on the 240 minutes, or you can say the 125-minute chart. It was also a daily level. As you can clearly see, it was this drop base rally. Price came in strongly into this level, created a indecision candle in the level of demand, and then took off to the upside. So now there can be some profit booking that might come in at these levels of supply, 55,612 to 56,154. But this was the key level of demand, 54,373 to 54,054. So just look at how the price came here, consolidated, and then just took off. And of course, news can be a catalyst, but it is not necessary that it will always be a catalyst, right? So today we had the RBI policy, and uh, nothing happened. And today you still see that the Bank Nifty is moving up extremely sharply. So where can Bank Nifty now move towards? Bank Nifty will again now try to move towards this supply. And what I foresee is that if what we are expecting from the FII data, if the FIIs start getting into a buying spree, then we might cut through this supply and straight away move towards this level eventually. And then, of course, Global markets are already making all-time highs. Sooner or later, the Indian markets will also follow. Let's now shift our focus from the Nifty and the Bank Nifty to USD INR, because that will also give us a relatively clearer picture. And as you can see here, if I just drop down to the monthly chart first, so we are in a very strong uptrend on the USD INR. We are forming rally-based rallies. This is the new monthly rally-based rally of demand. Then we have this weekly level of demand, which is, let me just remove all the tools here. Charts look nice and clean. And now you have this rally-based rally of demand. Although price is not showing a very, very strong move out of the level, but we could still consider this as a level of demand. Let's move on to the daily chart. So on the daily chart, we have this beautiful gap level rally based rally on the USD/INR. I'm going to take the liberty to market wick to wick. So I'll be more or less covering the gap level also. And right now, the USD/INR is consolidating, right? Which means either we can see a strong move to the upside, or we can probably see a kind of a retracement to the downside. So if there is a retracement, then we might see this demand zone holding, and then eventually USD INR moving up, which will probably not be a good sign for the Nifty. But as long as it is consolidating, and as long as it becomes a little bit bearish, it's going to be extremely positive news for all the indices. That is the Nifty, Bank Nifty, as well as the Sensex. Let's now look at the India VIX. So as you can see from last week, the India VIX has nicely rallied into this level of supply. This is the daily chart. So every candle is a daily candle. And we had plotted these levels last week as well, 9.97 to 9.94 and 11.3 to 11.8 as the supply level. And look how beautifully, as the price came into this level of supply, price consolidated and then started moving down. This indicates that if India VIX starts to move down, then we might technically see a rise in the Nifty as well as the other indices. So it'll be interesting to see if the India VIX now starts to fall down and the USD INR also consolidates and begins to give up its gains, which will be a positive move for all the indices. So this is more or less like a correlation where the India VIX and the USD INR are inversely correlated to the Nifty move. Last week, we also discussed a very, very interesting sector, which was the CNX Energy. And price came straight into this area and gave a nice reaction. So this was your weekly supply zone. And within the weekly supply zone, there was this daily supply zone as well. So as you can clearly see, price came in. That's the level on the 22nd of September and gave a very, very strong move to the downside. Based on this analysis, we also spoke about a stock called as Adani Green. And the idea was that Adani Green also hit the level of supply. At the same time, the sector hit the level of supply. And since the price had sharply moved into this level of supply, in last week's session, we probably said that it'll be interesting to see now how Adani Greens reacts from this level of supply. And as you can see how there was a sharp fall from this level of supply. And that's the beauty of the supply and demand strategy. You can actually try and capture, the moves, and you can actually pick market tops and market bottoms as long as you're plotting your zones in the right manner. So this was one great example. Now, moving into this week, there is one more sector which is in play, which is the Nifty IT sector. And let's go first to the weekly chart. And as you can clearly see that this is the weekly level of demand, rally-based rally. So now we have the IT sector in demand, which is very much similar to what the Nifty Energy did, but of course vice versa, because Nifty Energy was in supply last week. This week we have Nifty IT in demand. So it'll be interesting to see all the stocks of the IT sector which are actually coming into a potential level of demand. And in case if the Nifty IT sector consolidates here or then begins to move to the upside, then it's very likely that all the IT stocks which have been beaten down significantly will also start to consolidate and then will also start to move to the upside. So for this week, we are looking at Tech Mahindra. So let's look at Tech Mahindra and let's go to the weekly chart of Tech Mahindra. So let's go ahead and mark the weekly demand zone on Tech Mahindra. And as you can clearly see, just like how we have a level of demand on the Nifty IT sector, we also have a nice level of demand on Tech Mahindra. So the assumption is if the Nifty IT sector holds or consolidates, and if Tech Mahindra does come into this level of demand, it would be expected to see um, Tech Mahindra moving out of this level and eventually giving a significant move to the upside. So this is how at Sharekhan Education we teach you how to identify key levels of supply and demand, not just in an overall manner, but we also teach you how to identify the key sector, what is the right sector, what is the right stock, and we mark key levels of supply and demand on the chart to identify potential market turning points. So this is it from me, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the session. If you like our session, please give your comments and valuable comments in the comment section. And if you're still not a subscriber of our YouTube channel, hit the like button, hit the subscription button so that you can get all the latest notifications and updates. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Safe trading to you all. See you all next week. Bye bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.